This is something I've been thinking about for a little while now. There's obviously a revolution happening. Everything is going green. You know, we want to reduce emissions, cleaner air, all that stuff. Tesla, founded in 2003, now is at the forefront of EV innovation. They make the best electric vehicles right now. Part of that's due to the batteries, part of that's due to the infrastructure, and the third part is these cars are just very fun to drive. They're fast, they handle well, and they look good. To me. People like to argue in the comments, but hey, go have your fun there. Also, this video is sponsored by Cover Insurance. We'll talk a little bit about them later. So the scary truth about Tesla versus other mainstream manufacturers. Tesla has been producing cars. The Roadster started in 2008 as their first car. They produced 2,400 of them. Then the Model S, then the Model X, then the Model 3, and now the Model Y with the Cybertruck and Roadster and Semi and ATV coming. So they're on their ways. And what I've been thinking about is Tesla's been doing this for a while, specifically only electric cars. They've only ever made electric cars. No hybrids, no gas, nothing, strictly electric. And what I've been thinking about is they are so far ahead, first of all, in battery technology, how to produce them, how to have the proper supply chains in line to make sure that over time they will be able to continue to produce cars. So with Austin coming up and with Giga Berlin coming up, it's only going to get better. So while Tesla has been perfecting their supply chain partners and perfecting their manufacturing process, these other manufacturers have continued to produce gas-powered cars. And now the government has put incentives in place up to $12,500 for union workers and I think $8,000 for normal citizens in 2022. So if you're going to purchase a fully electric car in 2022, like a Mustang Mach-E, VW ID4, Tesla Model Y, Tesla Model 3, whatever, you'll get an $8,000 front-end incentive on these cars, which to my understanding, if I'm saying that correctly too, I will have a video linked below by Bearded Tesla Guy so you can get the full information on tax incentives because I'm not making a video on it. Now you're gonna put this tax incentive in place and the demand is going to go through the roof. Tesla has increased the price of the Model Y by $8,000 since the beginning of the pandemic. And since then, the demand has continued to rise. So regardless of what they're doing with the price, the demand is crazy. So if demand falters, Tesla will just lower the price a little bit, demand will be driven back up. So Tesla is in full control. Now, when people go to these other manufacturers like VW and Ford and things like that, they're gonna test drive both of them and realize, oh, the Tesla is much better, especially when the incentives are the same. If they bring the incentives to $8,000 for all EVs, not just the companies that haven't sold 200,000 yet. So if you're wondering why some companies get incentives and some companies don't, if you've sold more than 200,000 vehicles in your fleet of electric vehicles, the $7,500 tax credit that's currently in play through the end of the year, that's how you get it. Tesla has sold 2 million vehicles, so they don't qualify anymore. If you level the playing field as far as cost goes and said everyone gets this incentive, the demand for Teslas is going to go through the roof and the wait times are going to be forever. But ultimately, if I'm going to spend $40, $50, $60, $70,000 on a car, or even the Model S Plaid, the most expensive one, $130,000 on a car, I'm going to wait for the Tesla. They're the fastest, most fun to drive, and they've been making them for the longest amount of time. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we're sponsored by Cover Insurance. So I just recently partnered with Cover. They've sponsored several videos, and then I used them. So I was like, well, let's see how much they can save me. I'm currently paying $256 for my BMW M2 and my Tesla Model Y per month for insurance. So I went into the app, I put in the same exact coverage that I currently had, and I did this all over the app, so I didn't have to talk to anyone. And I was able to save $70 a month. So they are charging me now $182 per month. So Cover is an insurance broker. It's linked down in the description. You download the app, you put in your information. They broker out your info and get you the lowest rates. And if you're like, well, I don't want to go with that first company, maybe you go with the second best rate. It's totally up to you. And even if they can't get you a better rate, then you have the peace of mind knowing you're getting a good rate on a monthly basis for your insurance. Insuring Teslas and high-end cars can be very expensive, but Cover takes all of the hard work out of getting the best price and does it all for you. And you can do it all. You text your advisor, say, hey, let's go with this, done. They do it for you and get you the best rate. So I highly recommend them. Click the link down in the description below. download the app, get a quote through Cover. It's worth your time because once your information's in there, then you don't have to ever put it in again, and you can text. If you need to get more details, you can give them a call and they'll schedule a time with you. You can say, hey, 2 p.m. works for me. You can do it all over message. I just find the app very helpful. And I try to keep my sponsors linear with the channel, and this falls right in line. Saves you guys money, or will at least give you the peace of mind that you have the best rate. So thank you, Cover, for sponsoring the channel. Now back to the content. It's kind of a gloomy look forward when I look to other manufacturers and think, how are they possibly going to catch up? And my confidence is more into companies like Lucid and Rivian, who have built their cars as electric vehicles from the ground up, and they're not trying to revamp current cars that they have to be electric. So that's just something I've been thinking about, and it just doesn't look good for a lot of these manufacturers, especially like Ford and GM. There's a possibility that in 10 years, they're not Ford and GM, they're not around, other companies have bought them out. Maybe Tesla buys them out, turns their factories into Tesla factories. It's tough to say what's going to happen, but that's why the Tesla stock, I also think, is continuing to rise up because of how solid their infrastructure is. They've been doing it for the longest time, and now the demand is crazy. The other thing is these manufacturers are going to have to endure massive losses while they are trying to price their cars similarly to Tesla and match the performance. There's no way that they're going to be able to get to that stage that Tesla's at in 2 or 3 years. It's going to take them 10 years to get to this point, maybe 5 years to get to this point. You look at a company like Porsche, make arguably the best cars in the world, but their Taycan starts at $80,000. The range is not great on them. The performance is good, but again, you're hurting on range. So where you look at the Model S Plaid that gets 375 miles of range, I think, with the arachnid wheels, or 350 miles of range, performs better and accelerates better than any car currently in the world. And the Porsche Taycan S Turbo is like a $200,000 car, and the Model S Plaid smokes it in performance and in range. So you see what I'm saying there? Like they're not even close. They're just so far behind, and companies like Ford and GM are going to have to take massive losses over so many years just to get even close to what Tesla has profitably. The other thing I'd like to mention is Tesla's charging network. I was recently on a road trip to El Paso, and 2 of the chargers had the charging cable looped over top. So generally when that happens, that's just someone else put it up there saying, hey, this one isn't working, so you don't waste your time backing into it. 2 days later on my way back, those chargers were fixed and ready to go. So Tesla's charging network currently has 25,000 superchargers across the US. That's individual superchargers, not stations. I also did a road trip recently from Arizona back to Pennsylvania, and it was flawless. I think you hit 16 superchargers from Phoenix to Pittsburgh. No issues at any of them. Some of them were maybe slower than others, but they weren't overcrowded or anything like that. And you get out of your car, you plug it in. You're not fumbling around with a credit card, or is this work? What about my account? Do I have credit? No. You plug it in, it charges to your car has your credit card hooked up to it. It's seamless. These other companies are relying on third-party networks. So there's Blink, there's Electrify America, there's ChargePoint, there's all of these third parties, which are good if you're just going shopping and want to have your car plugged in. But when you're on a road trip and you need to rely that a supercharger is there and it's going to absolutely be working, I'm going to go with Tesla every single time. It's going to get better. There's no doubt about that. Like, I'm not this person that wants Tesla to win at all costs and I want everyone else to fail. I actually want options. I would love if there was a hatchback, like if there was a Volkswagen Golf R fully electric or something like that. I'm excited for options in the EV world. I'm just saying that these other manufacturers are so far behind, and I put my confidence in these companies like Lucid and Rivian that are new and totally dedicated to electricity and not gas in any way, that I think that is the reason that they're going to succeed, because all of their resources, all of their engineering is geared toward electric vehicles. Another point that I'd like to make is Tesla, like Apple, has developed their own chip, meaning it's the only chip currently in the automotive industry that is based on autonomous driving. And their billions of miles of driving data that they have accumulated since the first Model S hit the road are continually developing. They're getting mounds and mounds of data every single second of every single day. And these other companies don't have these over-the-air updates. It's just, again, like mainstream manufacturers, it's old thinking to where when you buy the car, you have your software and that's how how it is and it becomes outdated, whereas my Tesla has had a bunch of updates and they've all improved the car. So not only do these new manufacturers need to cut up in their battery technology, they need to catch up in data. And until they have more EVs on the road than Tesla and collect and adapt to the data they are getting, they are going to be remarkably behind. And more on the over-the-air updates, why wouldn't more car manufacturers implement this even into their gas cars that are currently being produced? I get there's a chip shortage and we're moving to electric vehicle technology anyways, but why wouldn't you put that technology in your cars to make them better over time? I guess it's just so they become outdated and you want to buy a new car. But I also like what Tesla has done. There is a subscription fee, so I can pay $200 a month to the current car I have and get full self-driving. So when I drove across the country, I paid the $200. I had full self-driving for 30 days, got to try a new feature on my car, and canceled it after 30 days because I wasn't doing any road trips. But I was able to use another feature that my car has and pay for it. So Tesla has found ways to get revenue out of their older cars over time. So instead of you going in for oil changes and service and your windshield wipers and your differential fluid and all that type of stuff, you are giving them money for an acceleration boost, a full self-driving package, your $10 a month for connectivity if you want to do that. These are all options to you. I don't have any of those subscribed to right now. But if I was doing a long trip, I'd be like, let's go with the full connectivity and we'll do that for a month. So I guess to sum this all up, I just get a little worried about all of these legacy car manufacturers. They employ hundreds of thousands of people. They have factories all over the world. I just don't know what's going to happen. And I think these pressures from the government, while they are well-intentioned that we want cleaner air, to do it by 2030 with just no brains in that statement to say, hey, by 2030, we're going to have all electric vehicles. I don't know what that is going to do. Like, I think we should be talking to the engineers and people in supply chain and manufacturing to understand what strain this is going to have on the world. And also environmentally, like, yes, the car itself does not pollute. There's no exhaust pipe. But mining for the batteries and things like that, there's stuff on the back end that's happening that is bad for the environment. So I think we all need to keep that in perspective and keep it in balance, because there's no good way of being at zero emissions unless you're going to literally be on a bicycle pedaling. That's it. I'm interested to see what you guys put down in the comments below. Again, not trying to say Tesla's the best and screw everyone else. I'm just kind of concerned about how everyone else is going to make it back and what is going to happen to these legacy car manufacturers that have been building cars for 100 years now. So, thank you guys for watching. Please like the video if you're still with me. I would appreciate it. And check out Cover Insurance. They're a sponsor of the channel. They like what I do here, and they provide a great service to you guys, saving you money on your car insurance. You see those big shiny insurance buildings in your state? That's right. That's because you didn't call Cover, and they're making tons of profit off of you. And I'm trying to save you money. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. If you're still with me, like, subscribe. See you next time.